So put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, do. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Hey there, campers, rise and shine. Don't forget your booties because it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Not hardly. And
we stopped there again.
I can't get past that line.
Yeah. Oh well.
I'm gonna have to put it on my phone and I have to read it over and over again.
It's Sunday, February 17th, 2019. Today, Donald Trump is still in office.
Yep, we decided to record a day late.
We're recording on a Sunday, because Randy was, shocker, not feeling well.
Yep, just I was ill, recovering, and I needed a day.
Randy's falling apart.
Next
Randy's
week
past the age of 30, so his body's falling apart.
Yep.
Yep.
You just made me forget what I was about to say now,
Ducky.
but we're back again for our 11th discussion of
Groundhog Day,
the seminal classic, 1993 classic by Harold Ramis.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
I'm just dragging this on as long as I can.
Groundhog
Day. And this is the Groundcast Day podcast.
Yeah. Or it's Groundhog Time. We could have named it that.
Or we could have called this The Day Without End. Or The Black Hole of Love.
Or The Greatest Adventure.
But we already did something like that.
So
the references I just made at the beginning were, as we learned today, because we watched it differently, Bobby. What did we watch it in today?
Needle Nose Ned's picture-in-picture commentary from the Blu Ray edition.
Yes, where randomly Stephen Tobolowsky, I can never say his name, pops in and gives us a fact and then walks away.
The guy who played Needle Nose Ned was hired to stand in front of a green screen about 10 or 12 times and give us about like a couple of facts. And we thought it was going to be like a full MST3K thing where he comments with
you thought. I basically got what I
thought that. And instead, it felt very, very cheap.
It was like Ed Boon coming in from the side of the screen going, Toasty! But in this case, it was just Ned Ryerson coming in going, Bing!
What is that
and walking away. Mortal Kombat 2.
I mean, why was that a thing?
Whenever he had a good combo or did a good hit.
I mean, why was that a thing, though?
Because it was an Easter egg.
It was just a funny joke.
Yeah, it was just a funny, stupid joke.
I was trying to figure out what that was always about. I remember the Toasty thing. I just don't remember why he said that.
Toasty!
Maybe he was a really big fan of Flavor of Love. Yeah.
No, that's too early on.
Too early, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years later.
But anyways, to get back on track here. So one of the things we learned about today was that, according to Ned Ryerson, the actor playing Ned Ryerson, the movie in France was known, the translated title would be The Day Without End. And in Brazil, it was known as The Black Hole of Love.
That's the only fact he wrote down.
That's the only fact I wrote down.
Because the rest of them were kind of garbage and shit you could already find on IMDb.
And a lot of it was trivia, random trivia that we know because we've watched this movie 11 times.
We've watched it, or because it was on IMDb already, or
because it was on IMDb.
I think he was just reading the IMDb trivia page himself.
Or he's the source for a lot of the IMDb
he didn't
trivia.
Say the John Candy bit though.
Oh no, that was somebody who listened to us. That's my theory.
Yep.
So, is there anything you want to bring up today? Actually, first,
yes, I do want to bring up something today.
Wait, but first, we get it out of the way. How do you feel about the movie today?
How do I feel about it? I still regret
taking up that challenge, that Twitter thing.
It's February. What's the temperature today? Want to look that up?
It's like -14.
It's like -14 Celsius. It's freaking cold. I had to schlep out here in my car to his house, like 15 minutes away, and I wasn't happy about it.
And to top that all off, this whole week I've been tweaking settings, and then the one test we do to see if I can record over Discord or Skype or whatever, it doesn't work because we can't hear each other, and I'm just like, oh, what's causing this issue? I'll figure it out one of these days.
Yeah.
And it'll be like plus 100 outside when I do.
Yeah, eventually it'll warm up and I won't care about coming here, but right now it's still depressed.
Yep. Still depressed. Kind of like the other thing we learned about this movie. But what is it you wanted to bring up?
Oh, yeah.
What is it you wanted to bring up first?
Okay. I wanted to bring up the fact that today I wasn't really so much reviewing Groundhog Day. I was reviewing Hedgehog Day, starring Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm gonna say to you,
oh
what I've been saying to you over and again, you're drunk, go home.
Rolling around at the speed of sound. I was so bored that I was thinking of a stupid alternate movie where Bill Murray has to catch Sonic the Hedgehog to get out of this town.
So you're saying you want to make a trailer mashup where it has the song from Sonic X, which is like, faster, faster, gotta go faster.
Gotta go fast, gotta go fast. And
it's just going to be Bill Murray yelling about chili dogs the whole entire movie while dressed in a blue suit.
He's chasing him. No, he's chasing Sonic the Hedgehog. And Sonic is... He has to catch him to get out. It's Hedgehog Day.
Yes, listener. This is what I have to put up with every week.
That's where we're at now. Hedgehog Day.
No, that's where you're at. I just keep trying to move along from it.
Go do your stupid 5 stages of grief bit.
Yeah, that was the other thing that I had made a notation about.
Steven brought that up.
Yeah, that was brought up in the picture-in-picture track. Mm-hmm. According to his sources, the screenwriter of this film based some of the film around the Kübler-Ross model of the 5 stages of grief. So that reads as denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Yep.
While watching this movie, I also came to the realization that there was also another version called 7 Stages of Grief that seems to fit this better than that one.
Right.
So I guess we should start talking about...
Why don't you read that?
Okay, well, the 7 stages adds to it. It's shock/disbelief, denial, bargaining, guilt, anger, depression, acceptance/hope. So what this adds to the 5 stages is just simply the shock aspect and the guilt. But it changes the ordering that fits the movie better than the 5 stages straight on.
Yeah, because I felt like it wasn't really in order. I felt like at the beginning there is denial.
So we look at denial, right?
Like when he's like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what's going on, but that doesn't read as denial. That reads more like shock. He doesn't believe, and then disbelief. He doesn't believe what's going on here.
Yeah, okay.
And then in our initial model, the point when he starts denying the reality of the situation, denying society's rules and saying, I'm going to live my life the way I want to over and over again in this day.
I'd call that anger, but...
You call it anger, but I think that is more denial, which is why the second model works best.
We're talking about the day he's driving Gus and Ralph around in the car.
Yeah, because they're too drunk to drive.
Which would be day 3.
Which is day 3.
Yeah. Too drunk to drive the day they die.
Yeah.
But make sure to tell them your theory about the bowling alley, too.
Yeah, I'll talk about that, because I don't think last week we talked about the deleted scenes.
No, we forgot. We keep forgetting. They're very unmemorable.
That's why. And then, after denial or anger there, you get, in both models, bargaining. Now, bargaining we were trying to figure out what that would be, but we seem to have narrowed it down to, in both models, it being just him save-scumming over and over again.
The read a date,
that the bargain he's making is that he can only go so far, get so much information before he has to start over again.
Well, it worked with Nancy, then it didn't work with Rita.
Yeah, it's not working with him. So the bargain he's making is a bargain for time. So it's just simply, I've made it this far. Okay, this is as far as I can make it. Save scum, start over again, and make it a little step further. And then this is where things kind of start to break down. Yeah. I haven't quite figured out. So next we move on to depression, which is very obvious. But in the 7 stages of grief, you get guilt and then anger. I can't figure out where guilt fits in, but anger I find fits in better after bargaining because he gets angry.
Well, the biggest guilt I can find is when he's looking at all the Groundhog statues after he fails with Rita.
So you think he feels guilty that he's been trying to win her over in this fashion?
Maybe.
That he's starting to feel guilty for the actions he's taking to do
But it could also be anger, considering the deleted scene where he cuts all the heads off, too.
Yeah, there is a deleted scene around the midpoint of the movie where he gets a chainsaw and he cuts off the heads of all the statues in the park.
In pure rage.
Which leads you to the anger part.
I want to talk about incel Bill Murray, too.
Which leads us to leads us first to the thing that Bobby laughs at every week with him completely dead inside. His face just
That's definitely depression.
Is depression, but it switches to anger. So it switches back and forth between depression and anger, back and forth.
Well, it's sort of depression, but then right after that, he goes into like blah 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 blah. Yeah, what are you doing? Again, we're all gathered around here watching a rat or whatever.
Yeah. So he's obviously on a manic depressive from depression, and then the movie ends with acceptance, and that's a very, very much stands out. You understand that he's accepted his situation, and it's the only way he can
commits suicide a bunch of times
as part of his depression.
And then he moves on to talking to Rita, and then trying to become a better. And she's like, "It's how you look at it." And he's like, "Yeah, I accept this now." And then he tries to become a better person. Then he tries to save the old man. Then he gets his perfect day.
Yeah. So both of these models fairly well fit the structure of the movie. It's just like little things need to be moved around for it to work.
That's right.
So you wanted to bring something up.
Hey, person writing an essay on this movie, I hope we gave you a lot of material to work with now. Which one did I want to bring up? Incel Bill Murray or the other one?
Yeah, you keep wanting to bring that one up because I've an offhanded
What was
joke
the other one? What was the other one, too? Now we forgot.
I make a lot of bits up while we're doing this movie, Bobby. I don't remember.
I don't know. Randy made a joke about how Bill Murray, after he fails with Rita, turns into an incel and just hates women, hates the fact that he can't get laid. And it made me laugh so hard. And I started making jokes about him doing like a manifesto back in '93, I guess, on paper. But hey, women only care about you have to trust women to get them to like you. And then we imagined that one of those days he went on a killing spree.
Oh no, I've always imagined that, but I assume those are the days where all we get is the clock turning and then him destroying it, and then the following day again.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he goes on like a murder-suicide spree.
That clock being destroyed is a metaphor.
It's a romantic comedy, so they can't show his darkest days. And the only thing darker than suicide is murder-suicide.
And rape.
Yeah, and rape, yeah.
And torture.
So, obviously they never go that far, but that more than likely has happened due to the state of his mind in the movie. The other thing you wanted to bring up is that this week, Bobby is noticing the effects of switching to high-definition film transfers.
There's that too. Because I was laughing so hard. But that's not the one. We're still missing one. I can't
remember what it is. I'm trying to work my way around.
Okay, we'll get around to it.
Because Bobby laughed every time Muppet Bill Murray or Hangdog Bill Murray or Nyanyub Bill Murray walked on screen, because Bobby has started to notice that
he looks like a
hideous
fucking zombie puppet thing.
And you start noticing in HD the
Bill
makeup
Murray's...
they're using on them, so he's very pale.
He's deathly pale, like a corpse.
But you don't notice that in the DVD version because you don't see the
Maybe I'm just starting to see, because I'm starting to see this too many times. His face looks like it's melting. And what he was referencing there was, I told him to go look up the guy on Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Nyanyub. Yep.
Whose name is Nyanyub. Great naming scheme, by the way, George Lucas. And he's the guy who is in the Death Star scene when they're going to attack it. He's a rebel. He works under Lando Calrissian and Admiral Akbar. And he looks like a little pale dude. He's like 4 feet tall. He's got a melted face. And he goes, ebba, ebba, ebba. That's what Bill Murray looks like. That's what his face looks like. A fucking Muppet from the 80s. With a melted face.
I'm just laughing at how much of this podcast is dedicated. It's slowly becoming dedicated to other things. We've talked about Sonic. We've talked about Mortal Kombat.
We gotta go somewhere.
Talked about Star Wars.
We gotta go somewhere, man.
And we're only 11 weeks in.
Yeah, he looks fucking disgusting, Bill Murray.
It's what it is.
He's got acne scars all over his face.
You've stopped focusing on the immaculate, pure skin of Andy McDowell.
I know.
Movie, and you're starting to notice every single pore on Bill Murray's
I gotta
face,
go look back at Andy McDowell to cleanse my palate.
Every single pock mark, every wrinkle, every bag.
His stubble and his pores and everything.
And there's some days there's some days where he's more hangdog than others.
And his balding head with his hairline going all the way back.
We apologize to you, Bill.
I want to vomit when I look at your face.
I apologize to you, Bill. I don't know about Robert here.
He might be a nice guy, but fuck, your face looks disgusting.
He was, like I said, this is back in the time where schlubby actors could still be leading men and didn't have to be
and of course,
supermodel.
the woman has to look good, though.
Yeah, that's always the same. It's
sexism in Hollywood. By the way, Andie MacDowell was 35 though and had a kid, so.
Bobby is very obsessed about their ages, but it's like
he was like 41.
I'm just more impressed by the fact that this movie is very like age appropriate, like romancing going on.
Fuck! Now I'm not gonna remember what that thing was that we missed.
I've been trying to work my way back.
Needle Nose Ned.
We were talking about. Oh, are you talking about the bull?
Oh, the bowling alley.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. So. Let's talk about some of these deleted scenes that appear on the Blu Ray.
Tell them how you think the bowling alley fits in.
So there are two separate scenes in the deleted scenes that I've been trying to place within the
where they would fit in.
There's a scene with a little girl who's not watching where she's going with a dog, and I've placed that roughly around when he saves the old women in the car. And then there's another one where he rolls a 300. What? And the theory I was coming up with was that fits right. He pulls a perfect game while playing with Ralph and Gus prior to leaving and going to the party to play piano, so that he can keep Gus and Ralph from drinking too much
and dying
in a terrible car crash. Thus putting a pall over the festivities of Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, he's got to save all the lives to get out of there.
And so that seemed to have been the perfect place to put it.
And then he designated drives them home afterwards.
And then he drops them off at home because they obviously didn't go to the party.
You don't see them at the party, so they're clearly not at Debbie and Fred's wedding / the bachelor auction.
Yeah, did they just go? Like, did Debbie and Fred just go get married by the Justice of the Peace?
Justice of the Peace that day, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Debbie's spastic dancing again. When she's got her eyes rolled back and she's shaking her tits
you always have
Fred.
To bring it up.
And then he picks her up and like throws her around and she's like 5 feet tall.
So the other thing we have to bring up is because we've been talking about this.
On our chap lips.
Talking about... Actually, I do have chap lips. We've been talking about the theory that Ned Ryerson is actually the devil. And we've been... With that theory in mind, we've been looking for signs in the film... of this in the film, Phil denies Ned 5 times, and then on the 6th time that he did not, where he finally agrees
to buy his insurance,
agrees to buying insurance, he buys
life
everything
insurance.
And he literally signs over his life to Ned. Is he free of that day? But
and let us not forget Ned's last line.
Yes, because he wants to join the Snow Angel, as Bobby has pointed out, played by Rita, and Phil.
Purgatory Phil.
This movie is...
Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, Purgatory Phil.
A large part of this film is echoes with, shadows, aspects of Dante's Inferno and Purgatorio and Paradiso. In that... Rita being the Snow Angel at the end of the film.
Hashtag Big Brain Randy.
At the end of the film, we agreed to stop doing hashtags. Don't make me get the spray bottle again.
JPEG Big Brain Randy. Go on.
You're gonna make me lose my train
Purgatory
of my
Paradiso.
Oh yes. So at the end of the movie, on the final day, Rita, as being cast in the role, the Snow Angel being cast in the role of Beatrice from the works of the Inferno, comes down from heaven into Purgatorio and pulls Phil up to Paradiso and finally freeing him from living in that limbo. And
that 10,000-year limbo.
And Ned Ryerson, the devil, wants to go with, because the devil wants to
get out
return.
Of hell, yeah.
He wants to return back to...
Because as we all know, in Dante's Inferno, he's buried up to his waist in ice. And what else is buried in ice? Punxsutawney.
Yes. He wants to be pulled out and go. But this is all undercut at the end by the fact that Phil, having been pulled out of purgatory, wants to now live there because he's come to accept that his lot in life is to be where he is. And that he can make limbo, purgatory, a better place by his presence being there.
So he's becoming a saint and helping people get into heaven.
He's doing good deeds in order that don't benefit him in any way.
Burning off them sins.
Burning off those 10,000 years of sins that he's lived through. The big and the small, including the the
murders and rapes,
the seven deadly sins, as well as the original versions of them. He fits every single one of the 7 deadly sins, as well as the original 9 cardinal sins of the Romans.
Why don't you lift those off real fast?
I don't have to listen. I don't want people hearing me typing.
All right.
But maybe I'll bring that up for next week.
Or we'll forget about it and it'll disappear into the ether like everything else.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, what's your personal Groundhog Day?
Oh, you're trying to bring that back? It's like watching Groundhog Day with you every week.
It's not going to be the hospitalization you just went through?
Oh, no, I wasn't hospitalized. I was just threatened with an emergency room. That's it. But I'm good. I'm better-ish now. Better-ish. And with that, I guess we'll close it out. Unless you want me to bring up any of these other little things I have here.
Not really.
Okay, so this was our 11th viewing.
11th out of 52.
Your 11th listen or watch on YouTube of Groundcast Day. I'm Randy.
It's Groundhog time.
Yep, it's Groundhog time. It's Groundhog time. Gobble gobble.
Yep. Let's not ruin it.
Yeah, let's not ruin it.
Ruin it.
That's my Groundhog Day. You constantly bring up that one line over and over again.
Read a Southern accent.
Read a Southern accent. So goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.